Hey, everybody. How's it going? Hey, Robbo. What up with the
Hey, how are you this evening, Miss Bridget?
I am all right. How about yourself?
I am okay. July, man, I went to say something this morning. Gillian covered my mouth and went rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. And I was like, oh, rabbit. I might have said and then rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. So I don't know if that cancels it out.
I don't think I rabbited or not, but
yeah.
I don't think I rabbited at all. I didn't do anything for the full moon. I didn't do anything. I didn't do cinnamon or anything today. I just, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did not get any of it done. I think about it and it's like, oh, squirrel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got the 4th of July coming up this weekend. So that's a thing. I'm especially happy because I'm off the next 4 days in a row.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So you got off Thursday?
Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday.
Awesome. What's Gillian saying? My good intentions are happening after the show.
I don't need to know. I don't need to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Deborah and Michaeline and Cynthia and Bruce. I feel like I'm on. Did you ever watch The Magic Garden?
No.
With the pink squirrel? It's nice to say hello, hello, hello.
No.
And then at the end of the song, and I say, it's nice to say hello, and how do you do? And they'd be like, hi, Michael. Hi, Robbie. Hi, Susie. Hi, Timmy, or whatever, you know?
Yeah, and I'd be like, not yet, but give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, the magic mirror, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are called gummies.
So, well, it was, the late 60s, early 70s,
early
mid-70s. Yeah, gummies may not have been gummies, but it might have been some kind of peyote button or mushroom or something.
Yeah, well, I don't eat them all the time, but I get bad stress headaches and stuff after a while. And they have these called feels that Gillian gets me. I take 2 of them, and they're just mellow. I'm not stoned, I'm not anything else, but I took 2 yesterday. She and I were watching our shows on the TV. No death, blood, and dismemberment yesterday. But we were watching some stuff, and I got really comfortable on the couch. So did she. She's been having some sinus issues or whatnot. And we got comfortable. When I woke up, I thought, oh, crap, it's probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. Let me turn everything off, wake her up, we'll go lie down in bed. And I walked in to go pee, and it's 5:30. And I'm like, holy. Yeah.
Oh, so you worked all night long.
Now, she was up at 2, all right? But yeah, no, for me, that was maybe that's why I'm not so today. Only got some good sleep,
I slept pretty decently last night for the first night in several weeks. I don't remember waking up at all.
Wow.
So, and I didn't take anything. Usually to do that, I have to take a couple of Klonopin for me to just not wake up at all. Yeah.
Yep. So. Exactly. So, I mean, that's probably why I felt so good today, so I might try that again tonight, and
sleep going, clearing out some of that sludge that REM sleep filters out.
Yeah. So if y'all hear banging or anything going on, that's my upstairs neighbor. And it's absolutely absurd. We don't know what to do about it. So
do they have a walker or something, or are they walking?
No, they've got a kid or something. They're running, banging, and generally anywhere between 5:30 and 7:30, we got to deal with it for a couple hours, every night. So it was loud enough the other night when I recorded it that I was able to actually record it sitting on my sofa,
fireworks. I got
Is that what that was?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
people out front. So if I startle, sorry guys,
Yeah.
because noises like that, I jump.
Yeah, our complex sent a letter out today to people reminding them, no, 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 no.
Every so many years, we get new neighbors. Houses get re-rented or whatever, and they come in with this mass of fireworks, and they just light them off all the time.
Well, and I never minded it. Okay, now I haven't had dogs for 15 years now. Okay, or at least 14, 13. When Gillian's dog went across the Rainbow Bridge, that was it. And but with this complex, it's full of people with dogs, and it's an apartment building.
Right.
I don't need them barking, all night long or everything else. So we'll see what happens.
Mine don't bark. They panic. They get really scared.
Right.
Well, we can't even go out on 4th of
Right.
July or New Year's Eve because one of us literally has to sequester ourselves in the room with the dogs. They get Klonopin, and I'll go in the bedroom usually and put the TV up really loud and just lay in the bedroom with them while they.
Right.
Because Tallulah shakes. She'll shake and start panting. Nana is scared, but if he can get up under you, he's okay. Lou, she flips, man. She just cannot. She has no coping mechanism whatsoever.
Wow.
They have thunder shirts, and we give them some Klonopin, and they just sleep. And one of us will sit in the bedroom with them because I can't imagine what it must sound like to them. It must sound like the house is caving in on them or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
But we got off track.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
I got these people. So these people are out here, and they're not lighting off nice fireworks. They're lighting off boom, M80s.
Yeah.
It's really, it's a Bruce fireworks. This is the truth. Fireworks start here 2 or 3 days before any holiday and continue 2 or 3 days after.
Yeah, that's Florida for you. Yeah, that's true. And again, stupid loopholes, And I was guilty when I had my kids, but back then my whole block was kids, so we were getting together as whole families, throwing our money in the fireworks bin, okay, to see who would come up with the most fireworks.
But we only did it 4th of July or New Year's Eve. We weren't out there shooting off fireworks
just for the hell of it.
And days after. We weren't doing that, and that's what pisses me off. I understand. So I'm prepared for those specific days, and I've got the medication for the dogs for those specific days, but I'm not going to keep my dogs sedated for 10 days because you're lighting fireworks because, woo-woo.
And for the folks that don't know, what's really stupid about fireworks are illegal in Florida. But if you sign a waiver that says you're using them at a sporting event or to scare the birds out of your crops, you're allowed to buy anything you want.
How are they illegal with places like
I said, the waiver, you have to give your license and sign a paper swearing that that's what you're using them for. And then it's okay, as long as you sign the paper. But nobody comes by and says, let me see your crops. So I don't even know why we go through that. Just let people buy fireworks. If you're going to let it happen, just let it happen. Some of this stupid stuff. But that's Florida for you. That's Florida for you. Matter of fact, when we first started doing it, we would let the kids have a 50-yard dash on the street, you know? And that was our sporting event. You know, okay, there we go. Boom, 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 boom. We make them get out there 30 minutes to an hour later. Okay, y'all, here's a 20-yard dash. And we give them candy and everything else. There's our sporting event, the Fifth Avenue, you know, running thing. But after a while, you know, I see where people are coming from with stuff, you know, and what is it, Bruce? My city doesn't allow them, but we have folks that will shoot them off. Yeah, absolutely. Reminds me of Steel Magnolias and the fireworks in the trees. Yeah, when he's trying to scare the birds.
Get the birds out of the backyard. Yep.
Yeah, no kidding. So what a great movie that was.
Yeah.
But, you know, you had asked me a question. And before we get too far off on just our personal stuff and coffee chat and everything else again, that was a really good question. Okay. And I think it's something maybe you should ask the tribe, you know, and what they think or what do they do. Because, man, that's really been going through my head ever since. And it has to do with, tell me how you worded it. I'll screw it up.
If your higher self appeared to you for 5 minutes, what do you think they would see?
Now, are you talking about in the middle of the day or just one time?
At any given moment, right now, whenever, if your higher self manifested into corporeal form and put themselves in front of you for 5 minutes, what do you think that conversation would be?
And
what do you think the message they would give you would be?
Watching a movie, and it's ironic. I think this is all happening for a purpose for me. Okay. We were watching some other movie where somebody did somebody wrong. And they're like, you're not mad. You're not upset. You know, I got a choice to make. How am I going to spend the rest of this day? I can be mad and upset. Or I can be like, it doesn't matter. It's up to me how I spend my time during the day. And I think that would be the biggest thing. My higher conscious would pop out and go, because I worked real hard to get away from this, to be mindful. And I've gotten away from being mindful, and I ruminate about what went wrong. I stew about what I should do. Am I enough? Or, you know, rather than just going, okay. And that really spoke to me. Now, it spoke to me on top of some gummies. So therefore, I woke up today feeling like it's my choice to be happy. I even spoke about this with Gillian, and I think that would be the thing, is my higher conscious would be, if you don't like where you're at, do something different. You know, it's up to you to how your day's going to spin around.
Yeah, I don't see that being the conversation that my higher self would have with me. I don't think my higher self would focus on what I am not doing. I think it would focus more on what I am doing.
Okay.
And saying, you know, you are on the right track, or I don't think my higher self would be critical. I think it in my belief of what my higher self is and the purpose it serves, I don't believe we in this forum are so critical of ourselves and each other, judgmental. I do not believe that that's the mindset of my higher self. I think once we're in that higher self form, all that goes away, and the goal is to help you go down, you know, let you know that you're on your right path, let you know that you're doing great, that, you know, you're just a human and you're limited in the things you can and can't do, and to not be so hard on yourself, to not be so critical of yourself, to, I don't think my 5-minute conversation would be, Bridget, you're such a lazy bitch because you didn't do your wash today. And you
That's
haven't.
not what I'm talking about, but it's been like finding my own purpose again. Where am I at? I think my higher self would come out, not like being, you're a lazy ass, get off your ass. But where do you want to go? You keep asking this question. What are you doing to find the answer? I think it would be like more of a motivational thing for present, because I've gotten off my path.
Okay. And this is how you and I differ in our thought processes. It would not be, where do you want to go? It would be, I know that you want to go this way. So here are things you can do that you're not thinking about to try and get there. Here are paths that I'm going to put forth to you to move down. Not what do you want to do or where do you want to go, but I am your higher self. I understand what your goal is. Here are some tools to reach that. That's what I think the conversation is. Not I don't think it would be a kick in the ass in the way that you think it would be a kick in the ass. I think
I'm just talking about for me personally at this point. I do believe your higher self. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you've gone off path, if you're doing things in your head that deep down inside you're starting a bad habit, I do believe your higher conscious might come up and go, hey, you're starting something here that's not healthy for you. You know it's not healthy. Let's get back on your path.
I agree with a redirect, but maybe not so. Not like, hey, you down front, just like, hey,
yeah.
You keep asking why you're struggling. These reasons, whatever they might be, are part of it. So here are ways that you can navigate around or through, or hey, you don't think you're doing as well as you actually are doing. And
yes, now that would be true too.
Stuff like that. Those are the conversations I would envision having. And guys, feel free to
jump in.
Yeah, what you think your conversation would be with your higher self. I don't see, like I said, I think as humans we're too hard and judgmental on one another to be I don't know what the right word I'm looking for. To chastise. I don't think my higher self would chastise. I think it would say, yeah, you've gotten, you've deviated. Here's the best way to get back.
Yeah. And I don't think mine would chastise me. Okay. I do think it might say, hey, wake up, a little bit of a call. Because again, the way I take instruction and the way you take instruction are two completely different things. That's my show. Yours is Eyes the Dragonfly. It's so sweet and I love it. And everything else, mine's tarot and attitude. Okay. Wake the hell up. It's and maybe some of that comes from, again, like I said, working with not the crowd. What's the word I'm trying to say? The group of people, the demographic that I did for so long, and it was a thing coming to me going, they've heard all this shit before.
It was like tough love.
They need to hear somebody talk straight and go, it's not going to work, right out of the gate. It's hard. We got to work on this together, things like this. Bruce, Rob, great shirt. Thank you. Birthday gift from Gillian. I think Cynthia is the one that showed her where it was at. But I love this shirt. I do love this shirt. I tried to wear Bigfoot shirts on the cruise as much as I could, but things that make people go, but yeah. Do you think we get in a place sometimes where we forget we have choices? That it is more in our ballpark?
I don't think we forget that we have choices. I think
Mm-hmm.
that we get to a place where we believe the choices are not available to us anymore.
Okay.
You know, that we're in a situation where, you know, we're stuck in this situation because all of the other options are even more or less ideal than where you're sitting.
Right.
So you feel kind of stuck there, right? I don't think we forget that we have choices. I just think that we convince ourselves that they're not any better, if not worse, than where we're sitting right now.
You know, it's funny that you say that. And I think you're absolutely right. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And so I was shuffling. I'm like, let's just ask, what does my higher conscious want me to know? What would it say to me right now? And what did I pull? The Chariot.
You have to move through it. Keep
Yeah.
on keeping on.
Stay focused. Don't let things pull me askew, or whatnot. And I think, that's kind of what it would be there, for me, So, and it's up to me to actually grasp that. Now, like I would get up in the mornings and say a little prayer. Gil and I would go outside a lot of times and do our tarot readings out on the porch or whatnot. We've kind of let that slip because we've let the world around us overwhelm us a little bit. Okay. But we need to say, whoa, stop. And we've said this to each other over and over again. Start getting up intentionally an hour earlier than we do to go sit down and focus, okay, here's what I need to get done. One of the things she reminds me, and this might help some of the other people out there, okay, that a lot of times, and I had to work with this with a lot of people, was goal setting. I would set too big of a goal for the day.
Right.
So once I felt like I got behind, it was easy to say, I'll just try again tomorrow.
That's it. That's no point. So your goal, a lot of times, I'll do that. And a lot of times, Bruce is good with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got all this stuff around the house, or he's got stuff for his business he needs to accomplish or whatever. And he'll say to himself, and he will say to himself, and I've heard him have these conversations with himself, okay, if I can get done, if I could just get done, if I could get the chlorine in the pool, get a load of wash going, and make these 2 payments for these clients, then I'm good for my day, right?
Okay.
Anything beyond that is extra, and that's wonderful. It's gravy. I'm ahead of the game. So I listen to him do that all the time. I will do it too. I will be not the way he does though. You know me. He's everything out loud, and I'm everything in here. So, but I'll sit down and I'll be like, all right, what are the things that I have to accomplish today? Okay, this is the list of stuff or what are the things that I have to accomplish, right? Not necessarily today, just they absolutely, they need to get done. So, and I'll mentally go through the list and I'll say, okay, well, if I can get, the laundry folded, the dishwasher unloaded and reloaded, if I can get through my emails by 9:30, I'm doing good. I've got, and that's kind of where, that's kind of the goals that I set. Now, as I sit here today, I was sitting here and I'm thinking, I have this 4-day weekend ahead of me. What are some of the things that I want to try to get accomplished? And then what are the things that I likely will get accomplished? Right. And so I'm ticking that stuff, you know. But yeah, I mean, I do that all the time. But Bruce is really good at those goal setting, and he sets those. I mean, he has. Don't get me wrong, guys. He's got some lofty goals. Don't you know? But for day to day, he sets these.
He's got good goal management.
Yeah, he sets these things, and let me tell you something. If he gets really not discouraged, but like frustrated, if he's set like these 3 things that he's got to do, and something happens, let's say a work emergency or something in the house that we didn't expect, or something with one of the cars or the pets or whatever, and he does not complete his small list, he gets irritated, you know, and he'll say to me like, "Oh, I intended to get this and this done, and this happened. I got completely sidetracked, or and I got completely pulled off course." So
yeah, and Gillian stays on me about that right there. It wouldn't be so bad, but I beat myself up heavily at the end of the day when I went, "You didn't do this, you didn't do that," and I let it start affecting my mindset and my spiritual well-being. Okay. Or when something goes haywire somewhere, I start picking it apart. And I had gotten out of that habit. And one of the things Gillian said to me, I believe it was yesterday, we were having a conversation about this of, who cares? It's okay to say, who cares? Yeah, we want to get this laundry done. We want to get these things put up. When's the next guest we're expecting? Because nobody's going to just show up at our house and go, "Ha, we're here," Well, you will, but
I don't think I've ever in 25 years
ever done that. Number one, you don't want to drive an hour to find out, oh shit.
Not only that, like, something's got to really be wrong for me to just show up.
If you're ever just showing up knocking on the door, I'm unplugging everything because something has gone haywire. Okay. And I'd be like, yeah, okay. And she will say, "You worked very hard to be able to get up today and go, you know what? I'm going to go shoot a game of pool down in the clubhouse." We're not 30 something anymore. We don't have to hit the stopwatch and everything else. And we've earned something. I'm having problems giving myself permission. Like, I know what I want to do, building a community for Tarot with an Attitude. I want to build an actual community, whether it be on a website or whatnot, or even in YouTube. And I keep saying, all right, I need to do this. And I just don't. I get like, all of a sudden the task seems too big. So I was talking about Chat GPT with that. And it's like, let me help you organize where you're only going to spend 20 to 30 minutes, 3 or 4 days a week, and we can get this off the ground for you. And I still haven't done it, So
maybe one of the things you need to do is, just offering a suggestion, saying to yourself, if I spend 20 minutes doing this,
right,
my reward is playing a game of pool at the clubhouse.
Right.
That sort of thing. I don't know if that'll work for you or not.
But. No, because I'll be like, but no, you're right. Here's my thing. And I think here's why I get really irritated at myself. Once I get on, my wife will tell you, once I get on task, okay, and I'm doing these things like, oh, I'm going to get this knocked out. All of a sudden it's like obsessive compulsive, or I can't quit. I won't eat. I won't go to lunch. I don't have breakfast. Hey, babe, can you bring me another cup of coffee? And I'm just going.
And I understand that, because if I'm in the middle of something and I get interrupted and I've lost my flow, but that mindset to me feels like, you feel like if you start it, you absolutely have to finish it that day.
Yeah, I do.
and I think that might be where you're going wrong, right? Because
Could
you
be.
could start it and say, I will work for 2 hours up to this point and complete this one portion.
Right.
And then you're done for the day. And then you come back tomorrow and you restart like the next portion.
Right.
Instead of trying to eat the elephant all in one meal.
Right. Right.
So,
And that's what I think I do. That's where my higher consciousness comes in. And I lose that, and I'm in my own head. I'm too much swords, okay? Rather
that burns
than
you out, though. That the way that's what burns you out is thinking, because then you get that mindset of, I'm never going to complete it, and so I'm just beating a dead horse, right? Because you only have 24 hours in a day.
right.
And if the project that you can't, that would never be completed in 24, building a community, it's not something that's going to happen in 24 hours.
Right.
So you've already failed at the task before you even began.
Exactly. And it's a commitment to, even if it's set it up for me, all right, here's what we're going to do. These 3 days are going to be your days. You're going to work 3 or 4 hours. Other than this, we're going to knock this out in 20 minutes a day. Okay. It's an overall commitment to the whole thing, too. I find that eating this elephant in small bites, I don't say, okay, let's just get this week up. Let's take next week as it comes. I think I kind of got into semi-retirement mode where it's like, I don't want to schedule. I don't want something where I want to let each day happen and do what I do. But at the same point, then I'm terrible about beating myself up when I don't make the most of it. You know what I mean?
If you're letting each day happen, but not accomplishing anything during those days,
yeah,
then the mindset has a little bit of a flaw in it, and it needs to be reworked.
I agree. I agree. And that's where I'm saying I think my higher conscience would come in and help me. I wish it would appear to me once a day for 5 minutes. Yeah, to help me stay on track or get done. But at the same point, I have to remember it's always here. I got to get the other gobbledygook that I put in my head or let take over to listen. I got to get back in a mode of listening. And I think some of it is I'm either finding a way to put my feet up, or I'm 90 miles an hour. And I have to find 55. I've got to find this moderate flow of where to go to make things happen. Does that make any sense at all?
That's probably the conversation your higher self would likely have with you.
Yeah.
Is, you need to, you need to regulate, right?
Right.
You can't numb, or you can't distract yourself out of, into just like this functional freeze state that you're in, right? Where you have these things you need to accomplish.
Right.
You're looking at them, you see them clearly every day, but you're just not acting on them. Right?
Help me interpret this. So the question I just asked, my higher self said I need to be the chariot, remain focused, and move forward. So then I said, how do I do that? That was the question I just asked. How do I remain focused and move forward? And I think I know, but I want to hear it from you. I got the Queen of Wands.
Right. So focus on your passion. Focus on what, you're going to, I take that as you you needing to identify what is your passion, what you're most passionate about, and then shift your focus to that and move
Okay.
to that. That would be my thought. Because you have like this thing and 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 this thing, all that you want to do. I've got this going on. I want to do this, but 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 I want to do this. So out of these 5 things, what is the one thing that's really got your attention, that you really like ultimately you want to accomplish, and then focus on that. And then once you're working it towards that, so the goal, your main passion is building the community. And then all this, which is this, but you also have this, and this, and this. And but that's all comes after, once you've got the community built, now these are all added. So they're like on your hub, right? And that's what I'm thinking, focus on the thing that's going to allow all these other things. It's going to give it all these other things a place to grow and become. That would be how I would interpret.
Okay.
I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, and that, remember to take care of what I want to do. That was, that when we look at this from a place of, the Queen of Wands, it's that internalizing, all right, taking care of yourself, but nurturing your dream, nurturing where you want to be, what do you want to do, where do you want to go. And I think you may have hit something there where I've got so many bullet points of things I'd like to do where one has nothing to do with the other that I really need to focus on. Pick one, get that moving, get back into it, okay, and then move to something else. Get something rolling and then get another thing going or whatnot. I think I get too all over the map. Would that make sense?
Yeah, I also think though that you have a lot of things that you think one thing has nothing to do with the other, but I think a lot of it could all live in like that community that you're talking about.
Right.
And so it's almost like building a community and having a tarot class, and then having a crystals class, and then having a pendulum class. And that's at the most basic level, right?
Right.
Just speaking in terms of whatever. But you have all these ideas that are rooted in this business, in this spiritual business, not necessarily tarot itself, but in the spiritual business. And if you focus on the schoolhouse, you can then, once you get the schoolhouse built, you can create rooms in it.
Right. I like helping. That's one of my big things, is helping people. If you remember, you and Gilliam were the biggest ones going when I was first doing live readings. I might get through 5 people in an hour because I was doing, 7, 8 card readings, because I was literally trying to minister to that person at that time, but then I would lose everybody else. That's when I am most comfortable. Okay. When I'm doing 2 card readings, I'll do them to try to get to everybody, but I feel like I've lost what I truly want to do this for. The spiritual and the Christian counseling, the helping people find their way and seeing things. I love it. I have some clients that come to me for nothing but tarot readings. I have other clients that come to me for a mixture of both tarot and, we combine them. And then some for straight up counseling. I just like helping people. I want to see if I want people to realize want to help people shake off old beliefs that they were brainwashed into. I want to see people start to free think. I want to see people see that they have more control of their lives than what they do. Okay. My whole thing, I mentioned to y'all a while back, and this has never stopped of, I'd like to have a church, but not a church like my dad had, a church where we can all come together and have spirit and have celebration and understanding and have people feel together, where we can do group Reiki sessions, where we can do, energy healings, where we can do all of that and be able to thank whoever your higher power is to you, right next to somebody else that thinks it's something else, but everybody's supportive of each other. I know I'm probably asking for, peace, love, and harmony throughout the world, but and I have not had any gummies tonight. So,
but you have to understand the focus of, I don't know if this is the right place for you and I to have this conversation, but we'll have it. I mean, if you want to have it, we'll have it, but you have to understand what the point of your Monday night channel is. And ultimately, it's to show people what you're capable of doing, so that in a short period of time, so that they will come to you in the long term, so that you can work with them. Right.
Right.
So,
and I think I'm losing some of that and doing a lot of these 1 and 2 card real quick. I don't know. I'd like to hear from the people. I'd like to hear from, from my tribe here, tell me what you think. I'd love to hear, people's opinions. I'm going to do what I need to do, but I would like to hear, some other thoughts, because this is a community,
I get it. I think, though, that the I don't know how to say this without offending everybody out there. The purpose.
Well, you're talking to me, so they're eavesdropping. If they want to get offended, get offended.
You would be online from sun up to sundown if you were doing that. You would be doing it, and you'd really get nothing done. For sure, because the whole point of the channel is to let people know what you can do, what you're capable of, so that they can reach out and start working with you in whatever capacity.
Right.
It is not to solve that person's issue in your 1 hour or 90-minute YouTube show. And I think you feel like if you talk to somebody, you have to solve their issue or whatever. And that's not the point of the YouTube.
Yes, you're right. And that reminds me of the Teresa Caputo show we went and saw, the Long Island Medium. There's 200 people sitting in there, and she talked to maybe 5 people, So while it's great to sit there and watch, as well as I do, 90% of those people are sitting there going, I hope she brings me a message from Dad, from Mom, from June. And when you do this in such a way where you're expending so much energy on one person when everybody else is there, I feel like that's not fair to everybody else in the audience, So I think that might be kind of what you're saying, but I don't know.
The audience is give me a minute. the audience's
Bless you.
expectation is not. I figured if she came and talked to me, that would be great.
Right.
But I did not expect her to stop and talk to me. And I don't think that anybody watching your Monday night show, and you do a great job of trying to address every single person.
Mm-hmm.
But when people go in there and they ask their question and it's busy and you can't get to them, I don't know that it's like, oh, well, I just wasted my time. You know, and I think you think that they feel like it's a slight against them, but there's only so much time. You have
Right.
60 minutes to address a certain amount of people or a certain amount of questions or whatever. I mean, you could extend the time, but again, if you did that, you would be in a live for hours and hours and hours.
Oh yeah, they keep coming in on Monday night later and later and later and later. About the time you think you have nothing left to talk about, 7 people pop in.
Right.
You know, and you're like, okay, no, if I kept running, I could feasibly run from 7:30 Eastern. I could probably run 2 to 3 hours, if not more.
Right.
But I would be completely depleted.
Exhausted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's sort of that thing. And I don't think, and guys, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it, even if it's not Rob's tarot live that you're going into, somebody else, because we all know that we all watch people and whatever. I mean, when you go into a live with somebody who has 100,000 followers or even 50,000 followers, and then there's 300 people in their live chat, is your expectation that this person addresses you? I mean, no, you're grateful, you feel lucky, you feel like, you know, you made a spiritual connection with that person. But I also don't think, I don't expect for a 2-card reading, max 3 minutes.
Right.
My expectation is not for you to solve my issue. My expectation is for you to validate the issue, provide me with the information that the cards are giving through spirit, or that spirit is giving through the cards, and maybe expound a little bit in your own experience or your own interpretation. Outside of that, you know, because you can't, or I can't, or anybody can't spend 20 minutes with Susie and whatever her issue is.
Right.
So, hey, Susie, if you want to dive deeper, here's my information. And I think that's the purpose of the ultimate purpose of the Monday night show, right? Is to give freely what you can, and then let people decide if they want to come to you for the help that you're willing to offer.
Okay.
You know, hey, this is what I can do. I'm showing you. It's definitive. I'm giving you empirical proof data. I can do this. I'm capable of doing this. If you want to work with me any further, here's how you can reach. Maybe you need to go into your Mondays thinking that instead of,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know.
Yep. And, you know, there was a time when I said this was the topic for tonight. Maybe I need to go back into that more rather than just trying to answer everybody's question that pops in. You know, does A love me? You know, where's my job? You know, is this going to work out? Is that, you know, because I think that's my biggest energy suck, is having to stop, shift gears with each person at such a fast rate. Am I making sense?
Well, absolutely.
Reader to reader, because it's just like reading live. When we do
Yes,
shows,
when you're at a fair, I was going to say it's just like when you're at a fair and
yeah,
you're doing 15-minute reads and you've got somebody one right after the other, right after the other, right after the other. Except for the difference is you say to them, all right, just give me half a second to to recalibrate, get with your energy. Maybe you spray some sage, maybe you're, okay, what you
yeah.
got? Where are we going? What are you looking for? Yes.
And that's where I do. You see me in the show, I'll be like, well, let me take a minute, let me breathe, because all of a sudden I catch myself reading forward and I'm not concentrating on the person that's right there, so I have to go, well, let me take a sip of coffee, or whatnot.
I have to focus really hard when we're doing readings. I really should do more on YouTube because I really, really struggle with connecting with people. One, that I'm not face to face with. Because if you get me on a Zoom call, it's like boom. And I have no trouble, but in this it's easier because we have these, we have our regular people that we talk to or whatever. And so I'm I've grown familiar with their energies and stuff like that. But sometimes it's really hard for me to sort of zero in. There's 50 people in the chat. I'm trying to pinpoint this one person's specific energy. There's conversation all going, boom, 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 boom. You and I are talking back and forth. And in the back of my head somewhere, I'm going, all right, so-and-so needs to know about this. So-and-so needs to know about this. So-and-so needs to. So I'm trying to shuffle my cards and get it to flip. So it takes me longer when we're doing the YouTube readings than it would in person or even over a Zoom, even over a phone, because there's just so many things happening all at once. And, sometimes.
Yeah. And in a personal one-on-one chat, Zoom or whatever, you can pull the cards and say, okay, give me a minute, and you digest it. But if I try to do that on Zoom or you try to do it, it comes across like the old, call centers, TV shows, dead air, that you're just sitting there going, yeah, and who wants to watch that, So,
but I do that on a Zoom when I'm Zooming face to face, one on one with somebody. I will. I'll flip my cards and be like, all right, hold on, and I'll look at them for a minute and go, okay, here's a story I'm seeing. Incidentally, my higher self, Page of Swords, Five of Pentacles. So,
okay.
Which makes sense,
Yeah, it does. It really does.
I am forever focusing on I'm a disaster planner.
Yeah.
We're focusing on the worst case scenario. So.
Yeah, you've got a plan for your backup plan, Well,
I mean, I start with the absolute worst possible outcome, and then we go to like better. Yeah. But immediately, I cut myself. Oh, that's it. I've got 10. I'm going to get gangrene. My finger's going to fall off, and that's going to be the end of it. And then from there, we move, into the lesser.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Understand that one real well.
I will plan for absolute. Bruce always says to me, "Oh, Bridget, you plan for the worst and hope for the best, don't you?" So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, I don't know. I wish that somebody else would tell me what they think their higher self is. I think my higher self would tell me that I need to give myself more grace.
Yeah, to cut yourself some slack.
I'm way too critical of myself. and who I, you know, that who I am is probably a lot closer to who I think I am.
And I asked,
What?
Brigitte's higher self, King of Wands, and that goes quite along with what you're saying, is there's compassion, there's times to take action, there's times to not, but to be in control of your will, of your desires, yeah. So that would be, yeah, it's self under control. Everything's not falling apart. Everybody's not getting gangrene. Okay.
Well, that's that fire, right? That's that fire.
Yeah.
I'm a fire sign. Wands. Interesting, the wands popped up because I am a fire sign. So
Yeah.
It's just my nature. I am driven by sort of that jump to the conclusion. Jump to the conclusion.
Right.
It takes practice to have to sit back and go, all right, Brigitte. And I do. I literally have to sit back and say, all right, you need to get a hold of yourself. Right. And I will sit here out loud and have the conversation. You need to get your shit together because this is, this thought process is ridiculous. You know, I know it. We all know it. So just stop. And I literally have to tell my brain, stop.
I've been there.
And then I have to say, okay, what's a little more realistic? And then we have to graduate from, this horrible, terrible scenario to probably reality, which is not even remotely close to what's living up here, But my body is like, oh my God.
And when I said, how does Brigitte do that with the King of Wands? What I got was kind of what you're talking about, the Nine of Swords. Okay, let's be rational. Let's come up with a plan and we'll be okay. That doesn't involve an emergency evacuation from the Titanic. All right. But, here. So that makes a lot of sense. It really does.
So she thinks most people are too hard on themselves and don't always hear the compassion they need from their internal dialogue. Well, even external, but if we're talking about our internal dialogue, you're absolutely right. I mean, I am the first person to tell myself what an asshole I am.
Yep.
I am. And I'll walk around. Bruce used to get so mad at me. He ignores it now. But he used to be like, don't talk about Brigitte like that. You don't get to talk about my wife like that. And, I'd look at him like, are you crazy? What? But I'd walk around and be like, oh, that's real smart, Brigitte. Real smart. You dumbass. How could you be any stupider? Like,
yeah.
What the hell were you thinking? Oh, and by the way, how about a little common sense there, Dumbo? And he would be like, don't talk to Brigitte like that,
No, and Gillian talks to me about the same thing all the time. Like, stop speaking that crap into existence. You're saying it out loud. Your ears are hearing it, even if it's self-deprecating humor. I got to get
too.
Yeah,
right?
I got to get a handle on it. I went a long way. When we first met, I was always going, God, I'm so stupid. But that was drilled into me from my father. And once I got used to her saying, you're saying that out loud, it literally, I don't say it anymore. But it literally took me physically saying, you're not stupid. You made a mistake or that didn't work. Now let's just back up and find out where this went wrong. Okay. And I started doing that. And that's the reason even more I've become very big at a clear the table, start over. Once I get too much going up here, if we're buying a car, we're buying a bed, if we're buying bread and you give me too many options of what I want to do, I'm like, never mind, I'm done.
I do it in the grocery store. I'll walk away. Bruce will have like 4 or 5 different things. He'll be comparing price per ounce. I'm like, that's it. Just figure out the one. Or I will go, God damn it, I want this brand. I don't care how much it is. I don't care what it is. I don't care what the value is. Put this thing in the cart and let's go. I'm not standing in the bread aisle for 15 minutes trying to figure out, the bread to ounce to cost ratio. But he'll do that. And I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I'm good.
And that's me. That's where it's like, I'd be like, I don't care that it's $10. Put it in the cart. We can afford $10. I'll throw it out if we don't need it. But I will pay you $20 not to be standing here and getting frustrated at a sofa. Right. Or what?
And that's me. One time, I'll tell you the story about buying Klaus. Klaus is my car, my Passat, and me busting out in tears because I'm like, can we please just make a decision on what car I'm going to get? Because if I have to go to another fucking lot, I'm going to lose my mind. I mean, literally in tears, like, that's it. It's enough. And he's sending me this link and that link. And there's like 100 links for all these different cars and these different colors and these different Passats. But if this one, then this one. But if this one, then I'm like, just pick a fucking car.
Yeah.
And I'm like in tears, right? A month we're looking at cars. And
I can't do that.
Can't do it. I just can't do it. And if you take me to another car lot to talk to another person for 2 hours and we walk away with no car, I am going to go nuts. I'm going to take you and everybody out with me.
That's me. Gillian will sit down and do all the research, but don't send me the links because I don't care after a while. I don't care. But generally, once we say, let's go check in and see where we're at, we know we need a new car. We're going to have a new car in November or keep the one we've got. The lease is up. Okay. And I'm already starting that. Well, we should talk to them, find out what our options are. Okay.
You know what person I do now?
What's that?
I tell him I wouldn't mind having this make and model, and this make and model. These are the cars I would like to have. You go figure it out. Let me know what we're gonna do once you've figured it out.
Right. But normally, once I walk on the lot, if you're a car dealer in the Melbourne area, recognize the face, forget this conversation. It's either going to happen that day right there, because I don't want to be going through this. I don't want to run from Honda to, I just don't. Or if there's 2 Toyota dealerships, I don't want to go from that dealership to this dealership. I'm done. We need to buy a car, and maybe again, some of this was the way I was raised with my time is worth something. I watched my mother spend hours running between Publix, Winn-Dixie. What was the other big one? GA. Yeah. I do this. And I'm like, and my dad would say,
I used to do that. She'd go to 4 different grocery stores because peas were 3 cents cheaper at the Grand Union than at, the Winn-Dixie or whatever.
And my dad would ask her, how much gas did you spend driving back between the 2 stores or the 4 stores? And she would just give one of those, or, her version of bless your heart. It was one of those things. And so I do feel my time is worth something. All right. So I'm like, we're going to do this. But if I walk off that lot, Gillian will tell you, we might not go back for 4 months. Cause I'm like, okay.
That's it. I'm done.
That was too traumatic. Okay.
Yep. And that's what Gillian, she says, she tries to narrow it down to 2 options and specific reasons.
Yeah.
And then here's Bruce. On Black Friday, the stove died. And he did. He had a whole spreadsheet of stove options, brand awareness, reviews, and warranties. And I was like, you know what I said to him? I'd really just like to have a gas stove this time. That was my input. Like, I really, if we could just get a gas stove this time, I'd really like a gas stove. And that was like I don't give a shit who makes it. I don't give a crap about. And he's like, but I'd really like, these features. I'm like, that's fine. I don't care. Do you know what I want it to be? If we can do it, if we're able to do it, I would like a gas stove.
Yeah.
You have a gas stove with all those features, I'm fine with it. I don't care. But
don't include me in all of that. And Gillian is, there are times Gillian and Bruce need to be on task together, and you and I need to be having a drink, reading a book.
And
y'all, because they have fun. Gillian with the spreadsheets.
It's Bruce.
Okay, but she will say, now see, my spreadsheet helped you answer that question. Okay.
But she doesn't know you didn't even look at the spreadsheet. You looked at it and went, oh, wow, that's great. And
she made a password spreadsheet
on the spreadsheet
years ago. It took me 3 years before, I think she was in Cleveland, and I needed a password to something, and it finally forced me to go look it up and see if it was there. And here's what throws me. What I needed wasn't there. So I'm like, but there are other things that it absolutely has. But she will, and then she'll show me the spreadsheet, and I'm like, where are you seeing this? Well, you got to look at the bottom, because there's 8 other spreadsheets on that tab.
Right. There's
that relate to the different.
Right. This is 2025, 2026,
yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
These are 2024 passwords. These are
sage spray.
I hear you. No, Bruce is very similar in that.
Yeah.
Too. He's very, 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 very detail oriented like that.
Yeah.
And me, I'm like, I don't care. Like, this why I'll go to JCPenney and Macy's and pay full price, because walking into Ross and digging through the racks is like torture to me.
Yeah.
So,
and that's another thing when I'm buying clothes, and I had one man make sense of this to me, or it was actually a woman. We were in Dillard's, one of my favorite places for big man's clothes. If you're in the South, go to Dillard's. If you got a big guy, there's some great stuff. Okay. But I will spend $1,000 at a whack. But then I don't go back to the store for a year. Where women will buy a dress and a blouse and then it's like something else comes up, and then this is new. I have all new stuff in my closet, and then everything else either goes to Goodwill or to Bruce or something else like that, because again, let's just get this done, and yeah.
I hear you. It's, I don't know. So maybe my higher self would tell me to focus more on the details. I don't know, but most of the time I know that, like I know what kind of car, or
right,
or I either know, or I really just don't care. So let's just, I just don't care. Just get something. Let's just get a car. We need a car. Let's get a car. We need a stove. Let's get a stove. Even in Lowe's, we're walking around Lowe's looking at the stoves, and it's like, well, there's this one and there's this one, but there's this one and there's this one. And I'm like, you know what? Fine. I want this one. Just this one. Because after a while,
it's overload.
Yeah. Like that. I'm like,
I'm with you. I don't want to spend 4 hours in Lowe's. I want to go in there. What do you got? Here's the price range I'm looking at for. and we're going to make a choice within 20 to 30 minutes. And that choice is either going to be buy this one or we're not buying anything. We're out. You know? And so
I give them more than 20 minutes, but I am not going to spend like hours and hours and hours
right.
in Lowe's looking at stoves. I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
I can't. Mine. I am not built for that. You know, if it were up to me, I would walk into the Lowe's and say, "Oh, this one's nice. I'll take. It's in my price range. I'll take it."
Yeah. Yep. This one looks very cool. And
Right.
now, yeah.
Oh, look at the it's got, you know, the enamel on the inside of it is blue. Oh, that's pretty. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like, that's where I'm at, you know. The
Yeah.
only thing we did do is we wanted an induction one, right? We found out I couldn't get gas, by the way. So we were looking at the electric ones, and we were looking at the induction ones. So the burners only got hot when the pot was on. So we literally were getting ready. We were like just seconds away from purchasing this. And I don't know, I asked some question, and one of the other guys came over and said, well, hey, if you have like aluminum pans or any kind of like Calphalon or anything like that, your induction, if they're not magnetic, the induction's not going to work. You have to have magnetic, you have to have metal pots that will react to a magnet to make the induction work. So we almost bought a stove that
Didn't work.
we would have had to have bought a whole new set of pots and pans to make it work. That was the only, you know, the only saving grace about asking a million questions. Well, we would have got it to the house and been like, what the actual truck? Why is
right?
Oh.
Oh yeah, I hear you. I hear you. When you think you know what you don't know.
I had no idea.
I didn't know until you told me that story that those induction ovens or, you know, ranges
stovetops
needed certain pans for them. You know, because I would have done the same thing. Oh, this is an induction. Boom, it's going to be hot in 20 seconds, you know. But I would have been doing it with a Calphalon pan because that's our main. And it wouldn't work. And I'd be like, you know, yeah. So I would have done the same thing.
I think something's wrong with my chat because there's a bunch of stuff coming in way
I noticed late. Yeah. Like,
is yours doing that too?
Yeah, I just saw it too.
I'm wondering if we're missing like whole conversations. We're just ignoring people because it's not popping up. If you guys are saying stuff, and we're not responding to it, it's because we're not seeing it. So my apologies, guys.
Yeah, something weird is going on there or something.
Weird. Everybody kind of got bored with the whole conversation, and so Rob and I kind of drifted off into something else.
Yeah, I did. So
anyway. I thought, well, nobody's interested in this topic tonight, so we may as well just.
That's why I said, well, let's talk about what I've got going on in my head.
Right. Yeah, that was nice. So if you're talking and we're not responding, I wholly apologize because, you know, we're not seeing it. So apologies. You know.
And now it's an hour and 15 minutes. So
yeah, so it's time to get going anyway, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we could do a tipsy tarot or something. In the next couple of shows.
Sure.
You know.
You say that, and I almost went ahead and did an unannounced one. I was very close to telling Gilly make my certain drinks, and just showing up and going, I'm turning this into a Wednesday tipsy tarot. But I thought, no.
But I've been trying not to drink anything because I hurt my back, and the alcohol just aggravates the inflammation. So I'm trying really hard to just not have any wine or anything until, this has gone away, whatever this is, and it's just off doing whatever. And then because if I do it, I'm worried I'm gonna hurt myself.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Bruce got peanut butter whiskey for Father's.
Oh, did he? Did he? We introduced him to Screwball on the cruise, and he fell in love with it. So it's a brand called Screwball. It's peanut butter whiskey. If you like something a little sweeter, okay, with the ice and all, it comes out really, really.
If you mix it with grape soda, it tastes like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Ah, okay.
Cranberry juice too. If you mix it with cranberry juice, it tastes like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Yeah. We got, I've got my jalapeno, whatever the hot spicy bitters are. We found them. We had to special order them. So I've been doing it with Pantalones, but I want to experiment with it with some type of, like an old fashioned, or that might be the way to go. Do an old fashioned and then put the bitters in there that are spicy. That's what I like, and I see you like. Yeah.
Never liked the whole peanut butter and jelly. That would be worth a sip or two.
Oh, definitely needs a mixer. Yeah, if you want some, y'all stop by. Contact Brigitte for win.
You better get this house clean.
Well, and it's time for us to put together a getaway for everybody again. Let's see what we can do. But
I'm going to tell you that I'm not drinking tequila and I'm not drinking peanut butter whiskey.
Okay.
I'm going to sit there with my nice glass of Chardonnay or Sauvignon Blanc, and y'all can get him. I'm not doing tequila shots, Rob.
Okay. All right.
I'm not.
I didn't twist your arm last time.
Oh, please. I had like 6 people walk up to me with shots. Here.
Yeah.
Here.
And the night hadn't even started.
Come on, we're on vacation. Come on, I bought this just for you.
Yeah, we took a shot of ours, and I went out, headed up the walkway, and there you come. I'm like, Brigitte, come on, you got to try this.
Just for you. I got it for you.
And I never will forget the look, Bravo. I'm so fucked up. And the sun wasn't even down yet.
It wasn't.
Woo, that was a crazy night. That wound up being a crazy night. Oh.
Right.
Oh, what is it? Gillian, it makes my heart happy to see you order the stuff for him. If I ordered everything, I see he would like, I'm a total stalker. Yeah, just show it to Gillian.
Speaking of ordering, I have something for you. Ordering and stalking. I found something.
Yeah. So at any rate, all right. Well, so plans for the future.
Yeah, we'll do a Tipsy Pharaoh. My eyes are burning again. So, and we'll do that.
All right.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
All righty. I guess we're gonna get going, guys. So have a good night. Thanks for sticking around with us. And
have a good one, everybody.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Back on.